You're tuned in to the DMV Hoops Podcast. The DMV Hoops Podcast is hosted by Kirk Cross.
This is Jonathan Scribner, head girls basketball coach at St. John's College High School, and this is the DMV Hoops Podcast.
Welcome to the DMV Hoops Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things basketball across the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia areas.
I started tonight off with a bunch of thank yous, and I truly appreciate their willingness to host this event tonight. Their ownership and leadership group, Ethan Letter, Darren McClinton, Kevin Roach, Lonnie Mulligan. Appreciate you guys opening the doors for this event. Our last team, the defending MAC champions, Sidwell Friends, led by head coach Eric Singletary. Coach Singletary, if you can please introduce your guys. Singletary is a 1993 Sidwell graduate entering his 18th season, and he currently has 8 MAC championships, one behind Rico Reed. Coach?
Thanks, Mark. First of all, I want to talk about Coach Reed for 30 seconds, just like what a class act that guy is. Statesman, mentor of mine, got the MAC League on the map and certainly been, following his footsteps, and I'm glad to be given flowers by him, but I wanted to give him his flowers. He's done a great job at Flint Hill, and he's done an unbelievable ambassador for coaching in general. To my right, got junior Ian Condon. To his right, you have senior Jalyn Collingwood. And to his right, you have sophomore Jadah Washington.
Thanks. And again, you guys know the drill. If media can please just introduce yourself by name and media outlet the first time you ask a question.
Houston Wilson, Pro Insight. Coach, you guys been at the top of the league for a few years now, but it's a new team every year. Just kind of what your message is to a team each year. Obviously, you can't repeat the success from an old team, but a new team.
100%, Houston. I talk to the team about that all the time. That don't get caught up in the program. The program's healthy. What are you going to do with this is your team, especially Jalyn Collingwood being my only senior this year. So it's a unique team. I've never had a team with one senior. So great question. I just tell them that our core values will guide us, toughness, attitude, and intelligence. And if we can stick to those 3 things and grow this group up pretty fast and get them mature, the talent's there, but certainly a new team that presents its challenges every year.
Owen Oliver, Panther Media. This one's for you, Jalyn. First off, congrats on the commitment. What was it about Chris Jans and Mississippi State that led you to settle on Starkville?
Just simply the love that they've been showing me, relentless. Almost every week they would come out to me, talk to me about anything, everything. We didn't even talk about basketball. It was more of an all-core relationship with him, the whole coaching staff, and the players too. So that just led me to make that decision. I felt comfortable with that.
Justice Mitchell, Capital Hoops. Following up on that question, Jalyn, congrats on Mississippi State. I feel like Chris Jans, even back to New Mexico State, instills a culture of toughness with his teams. Just talk about how you think that fits in and just speak on that.
The coaches I've had, Coach Singletary, Coach Tim Womack on New World, they all, mirror him in a way. So I just think it's a perfect fit.
Marcus Helton, Made Hoops. Jalyn, just being the lone senior on the team, you've got guys at 3 different stages here. You got, the one senior, got Ian, who really emerged this past season, and Jadah, who really made a name for himself coming out. I wanted to ask, you 3 just to go through, where you feel you are and your expectations for this upcoming season, starting with you, Jalyn.
Simply we just want to win as a team. Expectations, I have to be the leader of the team, the alpha male, so I have to lead by example every single day, bring it, on and off the court. Even in the classroom, walking around school, I have to make sure these guys are on their A game, which translates to the court.
Ian?
Yeah, no, Jalyn being the only senior, Coach always tells us, no one cares more than a senior, and him being the only one, our job is to help him and have the best season he can, but also that helps us as a team to achieve our goals and what we want to complete.
Coming in for my freshman year, I'm a little older now, so I feel like as of now, I have to be more of a leader. We all try to hold each other accountable and be there for each other. And the biggest thing is just be there as a team, like Coach Singh said. Value our core values and just stand by them.
And one more thing I meant to ask, but Jalyn, not too long ago, you were the new guy. transitioning in here, and now you're the leader, the old guy on the team. So what has that transition been like for you, and how was it just stepping into this new role as leader of the team?
Last year, my transition was very easy, coming into with a group of guys who, just made it feel like family. Like, the first time I even met the guys, practiced with them, it just felt like it was a family. And then this new role this year, it comes with a lot of responsibility, but like I said, these guys, they know what I expect out of them, and I know what they expect out of me, so it just makes it all easy.
Skylar Nelson, Scholar Athlete Sports Network. My question is actually for you, Jadah. You were a freshman last year. You made a name for yourself. You had an appearance in the championship game. Talk to me. How are you carrying that momentum into the upcoming season?
I feel like I think this is the hungriest I've ever been. Going through that loss, that state championship loss, definitely hurt me. Even as a freshman, just seeing my teammates and my seniors cry in front of my face, and just knowing the feeling, knowing that I can get there and we can get there, and we lost. So I feel like we just got to work, and I feel like we could get there again.
Joseph Mitchell, Capital Hoops here again. Question for you, Jadah. You had a really good freshman year, following along with really good Sidwell guards, starting back with Jason Gibson and Caden Lewis. Just talk about maybe that ritual, your tradition, and the tradition you're carrying the torch with.
Caden, when I came in here, Caden was like my guidance. Like, he helped me with everything. And when it goes into like my schoolwork, whenever I'm supposed to be in the gym, whenever I have to meet with Sing, just everything that involved in what the Sidwell culture was. I feel like he has showed me, and the alumni that have came back during practices and games have shown me what the culture is supposed to be, and now I have that torch, and I'm supposed to show the younger kids.
Jack Smith, Panther Media. Jadah, this is for you. As a freshman, just a tick under 3 steals per game. Where does that defensive instinct come from, and how high is your confidence on the defensive side of the ball?
I would say I'm very confident on the defensive side of the ball. I live and die behind my decisions on defense, and it came from just playing with Takeover my whole life. They're based on defense. They teach a lot of defense and just doing the little things. I've been taught that by every coach I played for, and to value that. And I know that coaches like that. So.
Alfonso Duckett, Who's Mizzou Network. This question is for you, Coach. How do you keep your players motivated during tough stretches? Your seniors may have foul trouble, injuries, key players injuries. So how do you keep your players motivated during tough stretches?
Good to see you, Zoe.
See you too.
I think just coaching, I think one of my strengths as a coach is that I coach every kid the same way, like 1 through 13. It doesn't matter. So I think that the confidence that they get from that, no matter if we have foul trouble with guys, and, even times in practice I may not, I may cheat on Jalyn or somebody and give them a foul and make sure the other guys are ready to go. So I think just coaching all the guys the same way, and I've done that my whole career, and just making sure guys will always feel like they're ready, and they never know when their time is going to be on the court. I always usually tell guys, one of the reasons that you may not be playing as much is just not your turn, but your turn could be the next buzzer that goes off. Try to prepare the guys that anything can happen during the game. So at the end of the day, I try to put adversity in front of them and practice as much as I can, so that way the games don't feel that foreign when it does happen.
Ron Bailey, Rivals.com. Singletary, you've gone 18 years. I didn't realize it was that long. But you've gone from the little gym to the palace, to the big one. What? I know that you have a wealth of influences. What college programs, if any, did you kind of plug into when developing your culture and your foundation?
I mean, I think it goes without saying, like just having a couple of kids to go to play for Jay Wright, going to team camps year in and year out, just kind of hearing his message and how he got his guys to be, super tough, super connected, playing off 2 feet, emphasizing sharing the basketball, our tough defensive mindset. He's amongst other coaches, but I would say that he's definitely been a direct source of what I looked at as a program, especially from a culture standpoint, just watching how they do things for years at the Final Four, even when they're not playing, just even the party they may have, just kind of wanting to make sure that everybody feels super connected. Most of our players that play for us, if not all, come back And that's my most pride and joy. I mean, the wins are great, but having an unbelievable culture is like more important to me than anything.
Darren McClendon from Spark, and also a friend of the program. My question is for you three players up at the table. I hear you affectionately refer to your coach as Sing, and that's interesting to me that's how you all refer to your head coach. My question is, how is it playing for Coach Singletary and the rest of the coaching staff? Is it a family environment? And I know it's ultra respectful, but how is it for you all playing for a coaching staff of that stature?
I would say I just want to talk about Sing. When I was getting recruited in the 8th grade, I've never felt like a spark from a coach like that. Like, just the conversation he had with me and, like, judging my game. I feel like he wasn't trying to, like tell me what I wanted to hear, but he told me the truth and what I need to work on, and not a lot of people tell me that. And just, I feel like that carries out through the rest of the coaching staff. I feel like we're a family, and we can talk to any of the players. We could talk to the coaches whenever we want. And it's not just about basketball. It's about school. It's about mental health. I feel like they're there for us in any type of moment when we need them.
Like you said, yeah, it's just a great culture. Like, every guy on the staff is a real person. Like, they're going to give you the real, they're not sugarcoating anything. They're not going to tell you how you want to hear, but they're going to tell you though. So I mean, it's just what you want as like a father figure, or uncle, or whatever. It's like, we call him Coach Unc. Like, it's really just a family environment.
Yeah, no, this is the way that coaches get on us. Like, they always tell us check our feelings at the door and stuff, because like when we step on the court, like it's not personal, but like they really want to get on us to become our best selves and on the court. And like, you know, I remember freshman year, I wasn't like the main guy as I am now, and there'd be times where saying like wouldn't get on me, and then, you know, I would miss when he did get on me, because that means he really cares and about me getting better and growing as a basketball player and as a person. And we're all close with our coaches. Like, you know, whenever we travel and stuff, like, you know, I can go talk to, you know, he's not here, but Coach Chuck, like, I can go talk to him about anything I need to. And yeah, it's just very, very close, and it's great.
To add, like, just the time they pour into us on and off the court. I mean, when I first got here, I've never had this much guidance. Like, it was kind of annoying at first, but like every coach had something to say about like my game on the floor, just all helping me, like little bits and pieces here and there, which allowed me to become who I am today.
Houston again, Coach. I know like 2 goals every year, obviously, to win the MAC, but also the DC State Championship. You know, the schedule that you've made is a legit, like, national schedule, a lot of different events. Just kind of talk about that, you know, and what that preparation leading up to the rest of the MAC regular season and DC State's.
Yeah, I mean, as we, you know, coaches have mentioned before, like, the MAC is loaded this year, as it is year in and year out, always a tough challenge to try to hang that banner. But one of the ways for us to even be prepared for that is to go out and play as many, you know, really good teams as possible. And part of that also is just giving the student athletes the experience that I didn't have when I was at Sidwell. So that's where it stems from. I'm jealous that I didn't get to travel the country and play some of these great events and great programs. And it definitely prepares us for anything that we'll see in the DMV and probably beyond. Like, meaning the DMV is even better than where we go. But still, playing in certain environments always gets us prepared for the night in and night out battles in the MAC. It certainly gets us prepared for the one-game scenario that becomes the state championship tournament. So I think it provides unbelievable experience and exposure for our players, but I also just believe in playing really good teams, win or lose. That way, when you come back home, you've been battle-tested. You need that. If you're not battle-tested, you know, you're going to get knocked in the mouth around here. So we want to give these kids their best experience they can.
Aaron Peroya, Prep Hoops, Maryland. Coach Singletary, you've had a great track record, kind of building on Justice's question from earlier. You have a great track record of developing point guards, and you got a special one in the sophomore to your right. What did you see in Jadah, and what do you also see in incoming freshman Elijah Schneeberg that makes you so excited about their future at Sidwell? And then Jadah, what have you learned about playing the position under Coach Singletary?
Great question, Aaron. Certainly it's a position that I played, so I certainly take a lot of time to look at that. Coach Powell was a great point guard as well. So, he's Coach Goodman, my cousin, great point guard. So we have a wealth of knowledge there. We know how important that position is, not only from a talent standpoint, but from a temperament standpoint. So when we looked at Jadah, we just saw somebody I've never seen out of all the players I've had, like Jamal Lewis, all the way back to as special as he was, and Jason Gibson, and Abbas Salah, Jelani Williams, Caden Lewis, of course. But this kid, pound for pound, maybe the most exciting, the most athletic, the most physically gifted player that we've had at that position. And we just saw his tenacity on defense. He was way ahead of schedule to be that young and be that attuned to being such a great defensive player. Can really handle the ball. Just can get from point A to point B. Just has, like I said, a ton of physical gifts, and now we're just trying to fix all the other components. And I think when it's all said and done, he'll be one of the top guys that have come out of D.C. in a long time.
Owen Oliver, Panther Media again. Ian, you've been the Swiss Army knife for this Sidwell team, providing your offense in a number of ways, out of the pick and roll, being able to guard multiple positions. But over the summer, we kind of saw your ability to shoot the ball, and that caught the eyes of college coaches. Do you expect your role to either change or shift this season?
Not really. I kind of just stay versatile. I think that's really my game, being able to be a three-level scorer, take care of mismatches down low, score in the paint, and then be able to step out to the three, and then obviously work on my mid-range game. I think that's my biggest weapon, just staying versatile, being able to do everything. And then, the plays we run, the screens I set to get my teammates open and get them the ball and be able to find a way to score any way I can.
Jadah, I'd love for you to answer Aaron's question before Alonzo.
I've learned a lot from Coach Singh, but I would say the biggest thing that I've learned was, it sounds crazy, but that I'm not as good as a defender as I think I am. Although I'm really good on ball, he has taught me that off ball I can be a lot, and it's crazy because I would say my worst defense, or the worst defense I've played has probably been in practice, where I'm picked apart because of the off ball or the ball movement that we have, and it really opens my eyes to see when I get into the game. I can see everything because what we practice. But yeah.
And I'll add to your question, Aaron. I know I didn't answer it. Elijah Schneeberg has been I've coached him since middle school, but he's made such a jump in his ability, his temperament, his ability to make plays on and off the ball, his composure, his poise is beyond his years. So it's always great to have a kid that was already in the building get better. It's almost like getting a brand new player. And so we're really excited about the contributions that we think he's going to make this year.
Alfonso Duckett, Who's Mizzou Network. Coach Singletary, tell us about Eric Green, another player of yours, and his development over the summer, and what should we be expecting? Because I think he should break out for you as well.
Absolutely. That's always the hope of any coach, is that each player gets better the next year and they come back more confident. We've certainly seen that with Eric in the preseason. He's grown. He's gotten taller, a little stronger. I think he's more confident. I think he won a couple of state titles with track, so sometimes in another sport can give you confidence. But no, we think he's going to be a two-way guy that gives us a lot of versatility on the wing, a lot of backcourt help, some shooting, rebounding. And he's looked really good in the preseason, so I'm excited about it. They're all the young guys, the sophomores, so you never know when they're thrown into the fire. They're going to get thrown in the fire right away against Clinton Grace. So, but I'm excited about his contributions as well.
Again, Justice Mitchell with Capital Hoops. Coach, you've had success with a lot of younger players who maybe play a couple years beyond their age. Just talk about maybe recruiting players that are not the most athletic, but have basketball IQ, superior basketball IQ, and stuff like that.
That's huge. I think for me, the way I approach the game on both ends of the floor, you got to be, that's why intelligence is one of our core values, because I'm you want to come through the door with a good attitude, certainly going to preach toughness, but the last phase of that to be really good for us to continue to hold teams down in scoring, for us to continue to share the basketball the way that we do, a young player has to show that level of improvement with his intelligence. So we certainly look for that when we're out, looking at players. We're looking at spatial court awareness, Like you said, doesn't have to be the most athletic player, but as long as he's willing to defend and make good decisions, like we think we can get him better.
Marcus Helton made hoops. Coach, just going back to something you mentioned earlier, like giving your guys a chance that you didn't get when you were in school. Like as a Sidwell alum, you know there was a time when basketball wasn't something people associated with Sidwell friends. So obviously it's a testament to your work, but what's it like for you to see things where they are right now, where you're a national program?
Overwhelming. Credit to my staff. We've had so much continuity over these years. We've had great players, and we've had committed players, but it truly is a nostalgia that I get to experience every day, where I tell the guys I win twice when we win. I win as their coach, but I also win as an alum. And I'm able to go out and kind of brag and put my shirt on and feel pretty good about it. Because, like you're right, there was a day when, Coach Powell would tell you, like, I was the only person and they had the game plan for. And no shot to my team. I had good teammates. We just didn't have consistent coaching. So that's one of the reasons I think we've been good. I've been around long enough. But no, it makes me feel incredibly proud to be a son of the school, to give back in a real way, and to provide an experience for these players, like I said, that I didn't have, like all the way down to, I try to make the locker room experience even better than what we had. So I hope when they leave out the door, they were happy about playing for Coach. I give them a hard time, but I think they enjoy the rest of it.
Alfonso Duckett again, Who's Mizzou Network. Coach, what keeps you coming back? You pretty much got all the accolades. You accomplished a lot of things. What keep you? I know it's your alma mater, but what keeps you coming back and wanting to be an important part in these young men's life?
Well, certainly Coach Reed mentioned it, we're really measured by our impact on young people. And I'm super excited about that. Clearly, I've been able to do that. That's what motivates me. It sparks me to try to be instrumental in their lives, whether that's recruiting, whether it's going to prom, whether it's getting their first suit, whatever it may be. I just try to be, super connected to these guys in a real way. It's like having more sons. I only have one, my own son, and so just as a way for me to kind of live vicariously through these guys. And so I think that keeps me coming back, motivated every year. I think the fear of the league and my colleagues and the challenge of the DMV basketball always gets my juices going, and imposter syndrome keeps me coming back. Am I as good as what people say? And certainly, there's always talk about me moving on to the next level, but I'm super excited about where I am, and just hope to be obedient when that time comes.
Jack from Panther Media. Coach, your team's known for having one of the best defenses in the country year in, year out. Where does that come from, and is there anything unique to your style of defensive coaching?
Jack, you know what it was? I think when we first started, we didn't have guys like this, and I always felt like you can teach most kids how to play defense, and at least we'll have a chance to win. And so I always, the great Kevin Hargrove, rest in peace, my former coach, said, if we score, we might win. If we stop them from scoring, we will win. So it's just a philosophy that we want guys to be we want our defense to be so sticky that when you do get open, you miss it because you rushed it. And so we just wanted to be where you work for everything you get. We just believe in wearing teams down like that. Shot clock defense. And we get accused of playing slow. This team will challenge me because I think they want to get up and down a little bit more. But I always say we don't really play slow. It's just that we make the other teams play late into the shot clock, so there's just less possessions. But we want to continue to hold on to that title, hopefully. That's my biggest challenge for this group. When you got a young group, older teams tend to play defense a little bit more connected. So it's my biggest challenge this year is to get these guys to be super glued into what we've done in the past.
Alfonso Duckett again, Who's Mizzou Network. This question is for you, Mr. Washington. I was at your first varsity game last year at the Military Mayhem put on by Capital Hoops against the DeMatha, and you really showed out. But sometimes last year you was in the driver's seat, and they may put you you was in the passenger seat, and they may put you in the driver's seat, but now you the driver of the car. So just speak about being the driver of the car as a sophomore.
It's definitely a big role to take on. I feel like, once again, going back to Caden, I feel like he showed me all the things I need to know to take this role. Going back last year, I was in the passenger seat, and I was watching him, but unfortunately he got hurt, and I knew I needed to take a big step. to meet the requirements for us to be a good team. And now I have to show people that now I can take that role by myself and I can keep the Sidwell culture going on.
Also, Duckett again, Who's Mizzou Network. It's for you, and to me, you one of the most efficient players in the MAC. So just speak about your efficiency and the way you hit that baseline jumper, like you can hit it in your sleep. So just speak about your efficiency.
I know personally for me, like when I work out myself, when I practice, like, you know, just for my jumper specifically, like I really try to have the same mechanics on my shot like every time, and I kind of take that for everything I do, like defense, and then on offense, like, you know, same jumper, same kind of finishing, and kind of just get consistent by like just working on it like so much. And that's really where I get it. Like, you know, the baseline jumper, like I really like that shot, but I work on it a lot. And, you know, the more I shoot it in practices and games and workouts, just the better it gets. And I'd say that for everything. Like, my three-pointer percentage has improved a lot just because I've gotten a lot better at taking game-like threes. Like, in my workouts, it's everything I do is game-like. And even, like, mentally, like, I think about, like, me doing all these moves, all these shots, like, in-game. And that kind of really gets me prepared for things.
Any other questions? One more, Aaron.
Coach, your teams are always pretty good down the stretch of close games. You're in a lot of overtime games that you end up walking out with a win. Talk about some of the things that are important to you and your staff to instill in these, you know, kids during practice so that they're ready for those moments, because those are not easy moments to have kind of peace and clarity of mind to perform in.
Yeah, great question. I think my staff does a great job of getting the guys prepared for those moments with a lot of situational things in practice. Like I said, we tend to cheat against the players in practice enough where they understand that could happen in a game or just get a bad whistle. But we preach poise. I'm certainly passionate and intense about coaching, but I think I also have a certain amount of poise on the bench that I think permeates into the players where they feel like they can win any game, especially if it's close. We're used to being in those games like for so many years. I just think even these guys, you know, Jadah and Ian in particular, who probably watched a ton of games before they even put the Sidwell jersey on, they experienced us playing close, tough games in great environments and being able to pull them out. So once it was their turn, they're used to Sidwell being able, you know, if we do lose, that's fine, but like they don't go into those situations feeling like they don't have the greatest chance to win, because we do preach it, we practice it, and hopefully we live that. You know, I'm a beacon of poise to them, hopefully.
So, well, thank you. We appreciate you guys coming down. Best of luck this year. Before we wrap things up here, I just want to thank the media for coming out.
Absolutely.
When we came up with this idea, the only thing I was nervous about was making sure there was enough media to make this thing go. Yeah. And there were some incredible questions. Thanks for being here for 3 hours. Yeah. We hope to do this again for the MAC and potentially other conferences. But the most important kind of component to this whole thing is making sure the media has a presence and they have good questions and they're tuned into what's going on. So thank you guys,
100%.
all of you, for coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Spark, and thanks to the MAC. Good luck to all 7 teams this year.
Thank you, guys.
And now, post-podium access with Kirk Cross, the Sidwell Friends School, and head coach Eric Singletary.
Kirk Cross with the DMV Hoops Podcast, Coach Eric Singletary. Coach, let's forget about the DMV Hoops Podcast. You were like one of my first guests on Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill, like 5 years ago. And here we are. You're still doing it. You're doing it at a high level. Why should people travel down into D.C.? We got to come into D.C. to see you now, into that beautiful gym. Why should they come see Sidwell? What are they going to see?
They're going to see a connected group playing together. I always tell people if we can't win, at least our huddle should look better than the other team. But no, seriously, they're going to see a team that plays the game really hard, plays it the right way, plays it together. Like I said, very connected. And hopefully if people view that as an exciting brand of basketball. So you're going to see a team that believes in itself and, like you said, carries out you'll see our core values played out on the court.
You know, Sidwell has made a name for themselves, obviously. You know, we have the WCAC, we have the MAC, we have the IAC, we have some, I mean, we can talk about teams in Baltimore and Southern Maryland and all of that. But Sidwell always mixes into things, and you don't shy away from the competition. I see you at Mayhem on Military. the MAC IAC Challenge. You don't shy away. You want all the smoke, sir?
All the smoke. I mean, like I said, I answered it. I just want to give these student athletes great opportunities and exposure that I know wasn't typical when I was at Sidwell back in the 90s. And so to me, it's fascinating and it's overwhelming, it's exciting that we have a team that's good enough to actually compete in these events as well. Like, you just wouldn't do it if you didn't have a group of guys that can go in there and make noise and, like, you know, hopefully win some games in these events as well. So it's a credit to the great players I've had over the years. But, yeah, we're not ducking any smoke.
Is my friend Kevin Johnson still on the board down there?
Yes, he is. That was my former teammate, KJ, for sure.
I haven't seen him in years. We grew up playing soccer together.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yes.
When next time I see him, Kurt, I'm going to mention that.
Please, sure. Coach, thank you.
Thank you so much. Man.
We'll see you. Where am I going to see you? Mayhem or Mayhem?
Mayhem.
I'll see you in Mayhem.
And then the St. Andrews games.
Good Lord. I'll see you a lot.
Yeah, good to see you. Yes,
sir.
You're tuned in to the DMV Hoops Podcast. Thanks for listening.